the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? Reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with philsgang.com, you'll be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, philsgang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
People are going to die if this is passed. If people don't have access to health care, don't ask the pinko liberal, ask the American Cancer Society. They will die.
And that is a lie. Yes, a lie. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. That drives me nuts. This was a guy on Bill Maher saying people will die. It's not true. Not true. Bill Maher should get his producers to do a little bit of research before he brings these morons on, which, of course, Bill is a moron, too. He needs some help as well. The Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act prevents anybody from dying. This is not a cruel country. We just let people die in the street. It sounds terrific, right, to get somebody's point across, to make sure that everybody gets free health care. This is crazy. The Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act, that was put in place. It was passed by Congress in 1986. And that's not long ago. It requires hospital emergency rooms to individuals seeking treatment for medical conditions, regardless of citizenship, legal status, or ability to pay. There are no reimbursement provisions. Hospitals may not transfer or discharge patients needing emergency treatment except with the informed consent or stabilization of the patient, or when their condition requires transfer to a hospital better equipped to administer their treatment. No, there is a law. People just don't die in the street. And that's always the fear. It's always the fear. They work on fear to get their point across. Ridiculous. So this week is a big week. Oh, before I start, did anybody see today, Bernie Sanders was on Meet the Press. But guess what? Nobody on Meet the Press, or the host of Meet the Press, asked anything about, yesterday, Chuck Todd didn't ask about he or his wife, now they're lawyering up as the FBI investigates a loan the senator's wife procured for her college. She was the dean of Burlington College, the president of Burlington College. And while she was president, Jane Sanders, the wife of Bernie Sanders, lied about the number of school donors in the loan application she filed to People's United Bank to get the loan. She lied. And Bernie Sanders pressured the bank to make sure they approved the loan. So now the FBI is investigating. Now they got to get lawyers. Well, great. Don't you love these phonies? But yet yesterday...
What the Republican proposal does is throw 23 million Americans off of health insurance. What Harvard University, what a part of Harvard University and the scientists there determined is when you throw 23 million people off of health insurance, people with cancer.
Wait a minute. Same thing. They're going to die. Throw them off, they're going to die. How many... Boy, the Democrats had no problem throwing millions of people off of health insurance. Remember, they canceled everybody's insurance? I know mine was canceled. Oh, that was okay. But now they're all upset. And they're talking about how there's no transparency. That drives me crazy.
Trump Care bill deserves full scrutiny under an open process, like the process that Democrats conducted when we passed the Affordable Care Act.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it away from the fog.
So they passed the bill. We couldn't look at it. The senators couldn't, our representatives couldn't look at it. They passed it Christmas Eve. They had no idea what was in the bill. But now they're telling us, oh, they should do it like we did. It had great transparency. But the Republicans, no, there's none there. That'll just make you sick. It's unbelievable. The hypocrites. You know, the repeal of Obamacare is a real challenge. Because, see, many people can't afford even basic health insurance. Think about it. And the ones who do pay for it, the premium's outrageous. And for the most part, the medical care you receive sucks. And not only your premiums outrageous, you have to pay sometimes $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or more before it kicks in. You got to pay the first $3,000 or $5,000 before it kicks in. That's unbelievable. And here's what I never understood. We were forced to subsidize medical care of others. What are you, nuts? That's a criminal enterprise. How could any president, how could any congressman who believes in freedom, who believes in free marketplace, agree to a criminal activity as forcing these subsidies? Or forcing a person, mandating they also have to buy the insurance. I mean, what a terrible... think about it. You are forced to subsidize somebody else, and you are forced to buy it. That sounds like something in Russia. Unbelievable. Now, here's the other thing I never forget. How could it be these congressmen didn't put into Obamacare that your health insurance costs should be all deductible, fully deductible from your taxes? What's going on with that? What idiot didn't think about that? Make sure whatever insurance you pay, you deduct from your taxes. It's unbelievable. And you know what most people don't know? Under all these programs, Obamacare and the new tax program they're trying to get passed, is the pharmaceutical companies. I hate these pharmaceutical companies. They have a vested interest in not curing people. We got to have a new system. People don't get it. These pharmaceutical companies aren't there to help you get cured. They're there to make sure you don't get cured. To get you permanently addicted to expensive drugs. To make sure these drugs have side effects. So that you have to get other drugs to suppress the other side effects. What are you, nuts? Why don't we fix that in this new bill? I don't hear anything about that. I don't hear anything about deducting all our costs. We should be able to do that on our taxes. We should also hear something in the bill about these pharmaceutical companies. We're going to we're going to change that. We're going to make sure that they no longer have a vested interest in making sure people aren't cured. I mean, what are these congressmen thinking of? And no matter how they change it, somebody is not going to have health insurance. But don't tell me the person's going to die. He goes to the emergency room. And guess who pays for that? Small businesses. That's right. The small businesses in your community pays for that. How unfair is that? They take that whole load on. And the Republicans say they want the replacement to be market-based. It's already market-based. What are they talking about? We'll be back. Let's make some money together. 15 past the hour.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Phil's Gang.
You're not a regular listener to Phil's Gang? What, are you nuts? Listen to Phil Grandy and check out philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
The Phil's Gang Stock Corner is brought to you by the MaxVest 1000 Stock Charts.
Obamacare was not perfect. It could have been made perfect, and it should not be destroyed. And every country needs a universal healthcare system. Countries need to strive to get them as near perfection as possible. I come from a country which has a universal health system that, by and large, works.
It's amazing what's going on. Amazing. The amount of corruption that's going on inside this Obamacare, this health care, the repeal of Obamacare. I mean, it's just crazy. This is not about us. It's not about saving money. It's not about good health care. It's about the rich getting richer. That's all. It makes no sense. I mean, this new bill that they have out, as I said, first, no matter what kind of bill, no matter how they form the bill, someone's not going to be on it. Sorry, the way it is. They say they want to replace it. They want the replacement to be market-based when it's already market-based. Are they nuts? And that's a problem. That's one of the problems because it is market-based. See, the health insurers, like the banks, are so big they can get the deals they want from the government by threatening to drop out of any insurance system. It's unbelievable. I don't care if it's Aetna, I don't care if it's Humana, I don't care if it's Cigna, United. They control. Because, see, they own these congressmen. They own them. And I love this bill. This is supposed to be a kinder, gentler version. Are you kidding? It's a mean version. There's nothing kind or gentle when you're dealing with an insurance company. How stupid can anybody think that dealing with an insurance company, there's going to be some kindness somewhere? It's unbelievable. This new insurance program is probably going to be even more cruel than Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, if you could believe that. Remember, from day one, Obama never intended the Affordable Care Act to be affordable. Do you know, in the Affordable Care Act, you can't find any mandate to make it affordable? Go through it. There's not a mandate to make it affordable. What are you, nuts? I love the names, don't you? Affordable health care. Who came up with that name? It's not affordable. Don't you love that? Or Homeland Security. The Patriot Act. Don't you? I want to meet the guy that comes up with these neat names. These neat names. God. See, the goal of the new health care bill is to stop having the wealthy finance health care for the lower income people. So to save money. That's simple. The wealthy don't want to subsidize. No. Also, what makes no sense, Republicans want to bar insurers from denying coverage to individuals with pre-existing conditions, which depends on healthy people being required to pay into the insurance pool. But it's mandated, the Republicans vow, on the other hand, to eliminate that. How can you do both? I mean, this is unbelievable. This thing is not going to pass. The core of the bill, the biggest savings, comes from a huge reduction in Medicaid. Why don't they just put everybody on Medicaid? You know, they talk about freedom of health care, your choice. Almost three-quarters, everything is Medicaid. Just put everybody on Medicaid. Get done with this foolishness. Now, Medicaid is a health care program for the poor, the elderly, the disabled. And they're going to do it by a reverse redistribution of wealth. That's right, reverse redistribution of wealth. They're going to take from the poor and give to the rich. They're going to take from Medicaid $400 billion, in which the poor and the middle class pass that $400 billion up to the rich. What are you, nuts? This at a time when our nation, or the nation's rich, I should say, own a higher percentage of the nation's wealth and receive the highest percentage of Americans' income. What are you, nuts? Also, get this. By 2020, the subsidies would no longer be available for many of the working poor who now receive them, nor for anyone who's not eligible for Medicaid. What are you, nuts? And the pre-existing is a big lie. The so-called supporters of the bill say it would continue to protect the people with pre-existing conditions. Really? Here's what they don't tell you. The bill allows for the states to reduce the insurance coverage for pre-existing. So they're going to shove it off to the states, and the states go, no, we're going to reduce it. What are you, nuts? So what stays the same? Subsidies for people based on income, age, where they live. Young people can stay on their parents' plan until they're 26. What are you, nuts? No longer are you mandated to buy health insurance. Insurance companies cannot reject or change a person's coverage, right, or the pre-existing condition. That all stays. And what else is there? I think that's pretty much what it stays in. I think that's pretty much what it is. But I got to tell you, this whole thing is nuts. What this was is a tax increase. That's what Obama did. $1 trillion tax increase. He hid it in this bill. This was not health care. This was a tax increase. This was the clawback taxes for the Treasury. This new bill is to unwind that. That's why they could not do the big tax cut without doing the Obamacare tax cut first, because it's tax, all about tax cut. We'll be right back after this break and take a look at some insurance stocks, healthcare stocks.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, the stock market is having trouble. Why? Well, if you remember, the market, after Trump was elected, and then once he became president, we had a 17% rally in the stock market. If you go all the way back to November, we had about a 17% rally in the market. Now, but remember what that rally is. It had nothing to do with why stocks go up, which is what? Why does the stock go up? Well, a stimulus is large tax cuts. Why? Because if you have a large tax cut, that improves the incentive to work, right? Sure, people want to work. Get that tax cut, money stays in your pocket. Saves. You have more savings. People invest. You get earnings growth, dividend payouts, volatility, all those things is why stocks go up, starting with a tax cut, earnings growth, dividend payouts, volatility. But that's not why it went up. It went up on the promise of he was going to do big things, great things, the biggest tax cut ever in history. Repeal Obamacare. He was going to put all kinds of money into infrastructure, of which none of this we can afford. That's the funny part. Can't afford any of it. And he's going to run bigger deficits than Obama ever ran. Huge deficits. And he's going to have to remember, when you're running deficits and you're spending more than you're taking in, and you're spending much faster than you're growing the economy, that creates an inflation that also drives down the value of your dollar. And that becomes a tax on the poor and the middle class, because when their dollars go down and they go to the supermarket and they try to buy the goods that they need, they have to have more units of paper to buy these goods that they bought a week later. They got to double the units. So right now, the stock market can't break out and run. It's been stuck. We've had the 17% rally, all on hope that all these things are going to happen, that healthcare is going to change. It's been 5 months. 5 months, for God's sakes. Nothing. Now, let's give him credit. He's done more than any other president did during that same 5 months. Keystone, thank God he got that going. He cut regulations. He got the coal industry going again. He killed the Paris Agreement, which was been a disaster, especially for poor and middle-class Americans. Your electric bill would have gone up double. He's getting rid of Dodd-Frank, one of the worst bills ever. That idiot, those two idiots, Dodd and Frank, didn't understand a thing. They killed the economy between low interest rates and telling the banks not to fund anybody, they had to put more money in reserves. So you couldn't get a loan, you couldn't get a loan. Because the banks had to put a lot more money in reserves so that you wouldn't come in and ask for a loan. They'd raise rates. They discouraged you. So we didn't grow. Small businesses didn't grow. Small businesses is the energy. Small business is the engine behind this country, behind growth. And that stupid bill caused banks to have to pull back and not lend. But he's getting rid of that. These are all good things he's done. A lot more I don't remember. And his promise as a candidate to repeal Obamacare was a good thing. But they want to see him fail. So they're going to fight him on it. They're going to fight him on it. So what do you do when you got a market now is stuck? Do you know this market now for almost, I'll give it to you right now, this market for nearly about 20 days now has been in a range of less than 1%. between the high and the low, when we're going sideways, the market's stuck because the market's confused, because they're waiting for this Obamacare. They're waiting for the tax cut. So the market's stalling. So what are they going to do? They're going to come back and they're going to do quantitative easing. That's right. They're going to do QE. They're going to start cranking up the machine, the printing machine, and they're going to keep flooding the economy with money. They're going to keep flooding the stock market with liquidity. It's bad now that this market's up 230%, all for the wrong reasons. It's a fake stock market rally. It's not sustainable. They only keep it sustainable by keep on printing liquidity, injecting it into the market, give it to companies, do stock buybacks. It's like a shark. Just got to keep swimming. There's no earnings. There's no growth under these stocks. My God, the companies aren't even doing capital investment. They're plowing their money back into the CEO's pocket through stock options, doing stock buybacks. So how do you make money? Well, what you got to do is you got to go to, you notice how now they're going to start with Facebook, and they're going to start with Apple, and they're going to try to move Facebook and Amazon and Google. They're going to try to run them up, make new highs. Remember, it's those stocks, about 6 stocks, that have kept this whole stock market going up. Remember, these 6 or 7 stocks are only 6% of the stock market, but are about 45% of the contribution of the 215% rally. Think about that. 6% of the stocks contribute about 45% of the entire rally we had since November 2008. So what they're now they're like heroin addicts. They got to get these stocks back up. Because without the stock leadership, this market will fall about 60%. Oh yeah, he'll retrace 60%. But Trump's not going to allow that to happen, because Trump now has taken what? He's taken ownership. Before, he called it a big, fat, ugly bubble. And he said they've been keeping interest rates too low for too long. That's been killing our economy, he said. And he was right. Now, after he gets that feeling, the market goes up 17%. It's his market. Now he wants to own it. Now we say, oh, no, this is a big, fat, ugly bubble. This is my bubble now. No, this is good. I made a mistake. It's not a big, fat, ugly bubble. And then when the unemployment rate came out at 4.4%, he said, oh, no. This is true. It's no more 20%. We dropped from 20% to 4.4% in 5 months. I own this now, which is stupid. The worst thing he's ever done. But he'll come around. He'll stop listening to these Goldman Sachs guys. It's the Goldman Sachs guys that are taking parking space in his head and making these bad decisions. He's making these terrible decisions. So let's make some money. So what you do, you take the top stocks that we call power stocks. These are stocks where all the hedge funds take their money and park it. American Express is a good one. American Express is a very good one. Matter of fact, if you take American Express, you go back to June. The stock was about $77. It went from red to green, meaning the institutions, it told us on June 2nd, the institutions were now pouring their money back into American Express. And today it's $83, and it's still green. So we got a nice 7% return on a wonderful stock. It's got a beautiful, beautiful pattern, and you see the money coming in. But here's the beautiful thing. When it's ready, when they decide, the hedge funds, to pull their money out, are you going to know? Is there one of your advisors going to call you, your financial advisor? He's going to call you when they start pulling the money out. But when you're with me, you don't have to worry. Because why? Because with my chart, the institutional money, when they pull it out, it turns the color, turns it to red. So you know you get out. So you'll be able to keep it. Once you capture that nice gain, you can keep it. And that's what's important in this business. It doesn't matter if stocks go up or down. You just got to know when to get out. We'll be right back. Join my gang, 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Put your money to work. Make your investments pay. Listen to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
I believe Goldman, a different analyst, had a sell on this stock when it was under $2 a share. It's not as meaningful when I see this sell rating because of the fact that there are plenty of people on the street, and when you start looking around at what's been active lately, I look in the chip sector, and it seems to me like AMD is making great strides forward in the competition.
Who cares about great strides forward in competition? That's not what it's about. Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. Join it today. You'll get your free, for 1 month, you get your free MV2 color-coded chart, which is normal value of $29.95. And follow me. Here's a good example. Now, he's talking about AMD. You don't need to know anything about AMD. Not a thing. You don't have to know its PE ratio. You don't have to know the price to book, profit margins, EBITDA. You don't have to know any of that. Here's what you need to know. The stock dropped when they pulled their money out. It dropped 30%. The institutions, when they pulled their money out, it dropped 30%. All you had to do is wait until the institutions started to buy it again. And it went up 40%. Here's where your deals are. You don't go look at, they're talking about Facebook. Well, you going to go buy a $156 stock? Are you nuts? Amazon, a $900 or $1,000 stock? What are you, nuts? You're going to be out of your mind. Google, those are crazy. Here's where you make your money. You take a nice stock like NLY. We call that a power stock. NLY is only a $12 stock. Matter of fact, it moved, it was red, and then it finally turned green from 1170 up to 1270. 1170, that's about an 8% move. Beautiful 8% move, and this is it's now a $12 stock. 8% move. What are you going to do? You going to buy Amazon at $1,000? What are you, nuts? What are you going to do? Buy Netflix? Or Apple? Are you crazy when you get a nice little stock like that? So it's about is following the institutional money. But here's another place. You want to find stocks like American Express, NLY. We also did very, very well with Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson is what we call a power stock. These are stocks that are making new yearly highs. So Johnson & Johnson turned green on May 18th at about $125. Today it's at $136. That's a nice 8% gain. Now remember, the stock was red. It was red at 121. It didn't turn green until it got up to 127. So it told you, do not buy this stock. It went up about 5%, but the chart told you stay out of it. Even though it's going up, stay out of it. What chart do you have that does that for you? You don't have one, do you? Because I designed this. So that means that's in danger. Not enough money's going in, so don't buy it. If some dope on CNBC tells you to buy it, stay away from it. Then finally, after a 5% move, she jumped up, she turned green, and now the stock's beautiful. Johnson & Johnson right now, again, went up from $126 to $136. That's about an 8%, I think, move. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. When it turns red, you know to get out. But here, and then the other places you want to make money are on the other side, the ones that have been beaten to death. You want to find stocks like AUY. That's a gold stock, AUY. This stock has dropped over 56%. Nobody wants it. When that starts turning green, you buy it. That's gold. Oil, rig. Nobody wants to buy rig. This is a fantastic company, rig. This stock has dropped. Oil's gotten killed. Rig is down 50%. So they're trying to tell you to go buy a stock like Amazon. At $1,000 a share, I can go buy rig. I can go buy rig right now. When I get my buy signal on it, as soon as it turns green, I can buy rig at $8.15. I'll get much more out of it. It'll go from probably about $8.16 back up to the high of about $12. So the idea that'd be about, you probably get it between a worst case, 15-20% gain. Worst case, you get more than that. See, all these oil stocks have been beaten down. Then what they're eventually going to do is be a rotation. All the big funds, all the big boys, they're going to go back and start picking up all the stocks that got hit. All the oil stocks, all the retail stocks, all got hit. And what you want to do is be there in the retail and the oil sector. Just wait for your chart to turn green. You start seeing the institutions come in. So easy, so simple. And that's where the opportunity is. So why don't you join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Follow me. Follow me in these stocks. Sign up today. Get your free color-coded chart for a month. And that's the way to make some money. Because you're going to know when to get out. That is the key. When do I get out? Gold. You watch and see what happens to gold. Gold is going to take off. Gold is going to take off. Your gold, your retail, your oil, the ones nobody wants. Stay away from those FANG stocks. Those are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. You lost your, you don't get in now. What are you, nuts? That's like buying you go and you're going to get a train ticket from L.A. to New York. But and they say it's a $300 ticket. But you decide to buy the $300 ticket like 2 miles outside of New York. That's kind of ridiculous. It's already ran. So we got some great opportunities in this market. And here's the other thing. Trump has to push money into this market. He's going to do QE4. He's going to print massive money, and he's going to inject it into the stock market, push it even higher. Going to kill the country. Because QE, quantitative easing, that's what it does. Low interest rates kill the economy. Low interest rates aren't good. They're fine for a stimulus, but that's it. You got to start getting growth. But the problem is you don't get growth because the way it's set up now, all the CEOs of our companies, they're greedy. They get paid on stock, by stock. You think they're going to take the profits of the company and put it into machinery to increase productivity so you get a wage or increase? Of course not. They're going to buy all their stock. They're going to purchase their own stock to push the stock price up so they get big bonuses. That's why they're making 300% and 400% more than their employees. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. We got a lot of exciting things going on in the market. You just got to be in the right place. But you can bet this. Trump, because he's got 6 Goldman Sachs guys who are advising him, giving the worst advice in the world. I mean, imagine what they did. They convinced him, never mind, you don't want a strong dollar now. He says, now you want a weak dollar. A weak dollar? Are you kidding? A weak dollar indicates a weak economy. Who wants a weak dollar? Oh, they said so the large companies can go overseas and sell their stuff and be competitive. Who cares about the large companies? That's not where our jobs come from. What, 600 companies compared to 36,000 small businesses? That's where our jobs come from. What are you, nuts? So we got some great opportunities in oil, gold, retail, but you got to wait. Remember, manage your money. You don't try to manage your stock. You manage your money. You got to make sure you're in exactly at the right time. And when's that? When the institutions are putting money in. Now listen to this. This is unbelievable.
Zuckerberg is just one of those unique individuals like a Steve Jobs, which is creating an entire new asset class as we look at it, and technology, of course. Look, the NASDAQ's not expensive. And if you take it, it's like the 18 times earnings. As you go forward, you're still going to have this low inflation. I mean, we looked at...
No, you're not. You're not going to have low inflation. How are you going to have low inflation when we're printing massive money? When the economy is growing so slow and our debt is accelerating, this idiot doesn't know what he's talking about. Facebook. You're going to go out and buy Facebook. Are you nuts? Are you nuts when you can buy these beautiful oil stocks that are at discount? Join the gang, 877-600-GANG, and get your free color-coded chart, $29.95. You'll get that free for just 1 month only. 877-600-GANG.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Now, and I'm already up 7%.
Financial education is, in many respects, the most important education you can get, and that's what they're getting.